Don't allow your life to be controlled by these things. The introduction. Did you know that nearly 85% of the things we worry about never happen? Yet, it's easy to let these concerns, along with past regrets, workaholism, or fear of failure, dominate your thoughts and control your life. But you shouldn't let these things dictate your existence. Here, we'll explore each of these culprits, giving you the tools to break free. You'll learn how to overcome the negative self-talk, beat procrastination, stop pleasing others, at your own expense, assert yourself, and live in the present moment. For more information about the ebook version of this audio, visit audiobooksoffice.com. We noticed that 82% of you who listen to our video are not yet subscribed to the channel. Please help support the channel by hitting the subscribe button and like the video. Thanks for inspiring us to create more content for you. Let's start this journey of taking back control. Part 1. Living in your past. Despite the lessons learned from your past, you shouldn't let it dictate your present or future decisions. It's true, your past has shaped you, granted you wisdom, and often provided life's most profound teachings. But it's equally important to understand that you aren't bound by it. You can't change what's been done, yet you hold the power to shape what's coming. Remember, you're not the person you were 5 years ago, a year ago, or even yesterday. You're continually growing, changing, and evolving. Your past is merely a stepping stone, not your destination. It's a part of your journey, but it isn't the journey itself. You've survived your past, and that's commendable. But don't let it shackle you. Instead, leverage it to propel yourself into a brighter, better future. Consider your past as a teacher, not as a judge. It's there to instruct, not to hinder. It's there to give lessons, not to impose sentences. You're capable of so much more than you might believe right now. You've got the strength to rise above your past, to conquer your fears, and to build the life you've always dreamed of. No doubt, reconciling with your past can be tough. But remember, you're tougher. So, embrace your past, learn from it, and then let it go. Your past doesn't define you, you define you. Moving on from the past is a significant step towards personal growth. But equally detrimental to personal growth is a condition that's silently creeping into our lives, workaholism. Part 2. Workaholism. A staggering number of people find themselves trapped in the claws of workaholism, a condition you shouldn't let govern your life. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, leaving you no time for yourself or your loved ones. But remember, your worth isn't measured by your productivity. It's essential to strike a balance between work and personal life. Workaholism, like any addiction, can be insidious. It starts out innocently enough, with you just trying to get ahead or cover all your bases. However, before you know it, you're neglecting other aspects of your life. You're missing out on your children's milestones, your partner's affection, and the joy of simply being present in the moment. It's crucial to understand that you're not a machine. You can't work non-stop without consequences. Your body needs rest, your mind needs peace, and your spirit needs nourishment. Don't let the fear of not doing enough keep you chained to your work. Take a step back. Reflect on your priorities. Are you living to work or working to live? Balance is key, and it's possible to be diligent without being consumed. Set boundaries. Learn to say no when it's too much. Take time to relax and rejuvenate. Part 3. Negative self-talk. Just as you shouldn't let workaholism rule your life, it's equally critical not to surrender control to negative self-talk. This inner dialogue can be crippling, undermining your confidence and skewing your perception of reality. But remember, you're not alone. We all fight this battle, and the good news is, it's a battle you can win. Understand that negative self-talk stems from past experiences or deep-seated fears. It's your mind's attempt to protect you from disappointment or failure. But it often does more harm than good, casting shadows of doubt and making mountains out of molehills. You're much stronger and capable than your negative self-talk believes. Start by acknowledging your negative thoughts. It's okay to have them, but don't let them define you. Challenge them with positive affirmations and realistic thinking. If your mind whispers you can't do this, counter it with, I can, and I will. It takes time and practice, but it's worth it. Next, give yourself permission to make mistakes. They're stepping stones to success, not signs of failure. When negative self-talk tries to magnify your mistakes, remind yourself that you're human, and humans learn by trial and error. Finally, surround yourself with positivity. It's like sunlight for the soul, driving away the darkness of negative self-talk. Read uplifting books, spend time with positive people, and cultivate gratitude. Remember, you're in control of your thoughts, your words, your life. Don't let negative self-talk rob you of your potential. You're more than your insecurities and fears. You're capable, you're worthy, and you're enough. Stand tall, take control, and move forward with confidence. Part 4. Fear of failure. Fear of failure, like a shadow, can follow you around, silently dictating your choices and actions. It's a silent saboteur, causing you to shrink back from opportunities and potential triumphs. But here's the thing, it's okay to be afraid. Fear is a normal human reaction to uncertainty. It's not the fear that's the problem, it's allowing that fear to control you. Understand that failure isn't definitive. It is just a stepping stone along the way to success. You learn, you grow, and you adapt. It's part of the process, not the end of the road. Remember that every successful person you admire has failed. They've stumbled, fallen, got back up, and tried again. They didn't allow fear to keep them down. So, how can you conquer this fear? Start by redefining failure. Instead of viewing it as a dead end, see it as a lesson. What can you learn from this? How can you improve? Next, cultivate resilience. Develop the mental fortitude to recover from failures. Remember, it's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. Don't let the fear of failure imprison you. Break free from its chains and embrace the opportunities that come your way. Trust in your abilities, believe in your potential, and step out of your comfort zone. You're stronger than you think. You're capable of more than you imagine. Don't let the fear of failure control your life. You control your life. Part 5. Procrastination. One significant obstacle that often controls your life is procrastination. It's a thief, stealthily stealing your time and potential. When you delay, postpone, or avoid tasks, you're not just putting off work, you're denying yourself the satisfaction and growth that comes from taking action. Procrastination is insidious because it's an easy habit to fall into. It can start with small tasks and then, before you know it, it's affecting major areas of your life. You're not alone, though. Everyone, at some point, has fallen victim to this time bandit. Now, let's turn the tables. Start by understanding that it's not a reflection of who you are. You're not lazy or incapable. Often, procrastination is simply a response to stress, fear, or the overwhelming feeling that comes from facing a big task. Begin by breaking that task into manageable chunks. It's less daunting to start a small job than to take on a huge project all at once. Set attainable goals for yourself and reward yourself when you achieve them. You'll find that once you get started, it's easier to keep going. Remember, it's all about taking that first step. Make a commitment to yourself to start tackling tasks as they come, rather than putting them off. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. You have the power to overcome procrastination, to take control of your time, and ultimately, your life. Don't let procrastination rule you. Instead, rule it. After all, your time is precious, make it count. Part 6. Toxic relationships. Much like procrastination, toxic relationships can also stealthily take control of your life, draining your energy and potential. You may not even realize the harmful impacts until you're knee-deep in negativity and dysfunction. It's essential to identify these relationships and understand their toll on you. Toxic relationships aren't limited to romantic involvements. They can be with friends, family, or co-workers. The common thread is their detrimental effect on your mental, emotional, and sometimes physical well-being. These relationships often involve consistent criticism, manipulation, dishonesty, and lack of respect. But remember, you're not powerless. You can take control. Start by acknowledging the toxicity. It's tough, but necessary. You can't change what you don't recognize. Then, set boundaries. Don't let others' negativity seep into your peace. If setting boundaries isn't enough, it's okay to distance yourself. It's not selfish, it's self-care. It's also crucial to work on building positive relationships. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth, respect your individuality, and celebrate your successes. These relationships will uplift you, not drag you down. Letting go of toxic relationships may seem daunting, but you're stronger than you think. You'll find a sense of liberation and peace that you deserve. And remember, you're not alone. Seek help if you need it, from friends, professionals, or support groups. You don't have to navigate through this alone. Don't let toxic relationships control your life. Take charge, and allow your true potential to shine. Part 7. Perfectionism? You're not alone if you've ever felt trapped by the relentless pursuit of perfection. Many of us have been there, endlessly tweaking a project, obsessing over minute details, or holding ourselves to unattainable standards. It's a burdensome path, isn't it? But remember, perfectionism isn't about doing your best, it's about never feeling good enough. Perfectionism can sneak into your life, masquerading as a drive for success. But in reality, it's a form of self-sabotage. It can paralyze you, keep you from taking risks, and rob you of joy. It's time for you to break free from this limiting mindset. Begin by letting go of the idea that your worth is tied to perfection. You're more than your achievements. You're a complex, multifaceted individual with unique strengths and weaknesses. Your worth isn't determined by the number of boxes you can tick off a list. Next, embrace the beauty of progress over perfection. Progress means growth, learning, and forward movement. It's a journey towards improvement, not an impossible race towards an illusory finish line. Celebrate each small victory, each step forward, as an achievement in itself. Lastly, practice self-compassion. Everyone makes mistakes. They're not failures, they're opportunities to learn and grow. Be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Part 8. Materialism? In the same vein as perfectionism, materialism can also become a controlling force in your life if you're not careful. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of the latest gadgets, the most luxurious cars, or the biggest houses. You might find yourself measuring your self-worth by the number of possessions you have, or by the brands of your clothes. This is a dangerous path to tread, as it leads to an endless cycle of wanting more and never feeling satisfied. Understand this, your value isn't determined by your material possessions. You're much more than the clothes you wear or the car you drive. Don't let the pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle dictate your choices and actions. It's okay to want nice things, but don't let them control your happiness or self-esteem. Instead, focus on cultivating inner wealth. Nurture your relationships, invest in experiences that enrich your soul, and spend time doing what you love. Your happiness should stem from within, not from the material things you own. Remember, it's you who gives meaning to your life, not your possessions. Don't allow materialism to overshadow the real treasures in your life: love, joy, and inner peace. Break free from the chains of materialism, and you'll find a richer, more fulfilling life waiting for you. Part 9. Comparison. Just like materialism, comparison can sneak into your life, subtly dictating your actions and choices. It creeps in, whispering that your neighbor's grass is greener, that your colleague's promotion is more deserved, that your friend's relationship is more fulfilling. It's a slippery slope that leads you to question your self-worth, accomplishments, and happiness. Remember, each person's journey is unique, defined by their own goals, struggles, and victories. You're not running the same race as anyone else, so why compare your pace or path? Understanding this is crucial to escaping the shackles of comparison. Start by acknowledging your own achievements. Celebrate the small wins, the big strides, and even the stumbles. They're all part of your personal growth. Remember, you're not in competition with anyone but yourself. Your only goal should be to be a better version of who you were yesterday. Focus on your own journey. Invest in personal growth. Foster self-love. These actions will help you resist the urge to compare. You'll recognize that your worth isn't defined by external comparisons but by your own self-perception. I know it's easier said than done, but remember, freeing yourself from the chains of comparison will lead to a more fulfilling life. You'll be happier, more content, and find peace within your own journey. As you work on shedding the habit of comparison, it's important to also address another aspect that can control your life: lack of boundaries. Let's delve into that next. Part 10. Lack of boundaries. A lack of boundaries can easily take control of your life, leaving you feeling overwhelmed and unsatisfied. It's like trying to sail a ship without a rudder. You're at the mercy of the wind, with no clear direction. You may find yourself constantly giving in to the demands of others, sacrificing your own needs and wants in the process. This can lead to a life that feels out of control, full of stress and resentment. It's important to understand that setting boundaries isn't about being selfish or unfriendly. It's about recognizing your worth and taking care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup, after all. Without boundaries, you're more likely to burn out, leaving you feeling drained and unable to give your best to the people and activities you love most. Start by identifying what's important to you. What are your values, your passions, your non-negotiables? Once you have a clear idea, you can begin to set boundaries that align with these. Don't be afraid to say no when something doesn't serve you or your goals. Remember, it's not just about setting boundaries but also respecting them. This might mean having difficult conversations or making tough decisions. It won't be easy, but the peace and satisfaction you'll gain in the long run will be worth it. Don't let a lack of boundaries control your life. You have the power to steer your ship in the direction you desire. Set your boundaries and reclaim control over your life. It's your journey, make it a fulfilling one. Part 11. Stress. Often, you're letting stress dictate your decisions and actions, but it doesn't have to be this way. It's easy to let stress take the wheel, guiding you down paths you wouldn't normally choose. But remember, you're the one in control. Stress is a reaction, not a command. Stress isn't your enemy, but a signal. It's your body's way of saying, hey, something's not right here. Listen to it, understand it, and then act. Remember, you're not powerless. You have the will and the strength to make changes in your life, even when faced with stress. Think of stress as an indicator, telling you that something needs your attention. Maybe you're overworked, maybe you're not getting enough sleep, or maybe you're just trying to do too much. Whatever the case, stress is your body's way of asking for a change. Instead of letting stress control you, take control of it. If you're feeling stressed, take a step back. Breathe. Take a moment to figure out what's causing your stress and what you can do about it. You're stronger than you think. You have the power to make changes in your life and reduce your stress. Part 12. Lack of self-care. When you neglect to take care of yourself, you're setting yourself up for a life controlled by fatigue, stress, and dissatisfaction. Self-care isn't some fancy, self-indulgent luxury. It's a necessity. It's about respecting your body and mind enough to give them the rest, nutrition, exercise, and mental stimulation they need to function at their best. Imagine you're a car. Without regular maintenance, fuel, and oil changes, you'll start to break down. You'll become less reliable, slower, and eventually, you'll stop working altogether. The same principle applies to you. You can't keep driving yourself hard without taking care of your basic needs. You're not invincible. But here's the good news, you have control. You can choose to prioritize self-care. It is not just about bubble baths and spa days, but those are enjoyable as well. It's about making sure you're eating healthily, getting enough sleep, allowing yourself to take breaks, exercising regularly, and spending time doing things you love. It's about setting boundaries and saying no when you need to. Part 13. Guilt. You're not alone if guilt is one of the powerful emotions that's managing to control your life. It's an emotion that grips many of us, holding us back from embracing opportunities and living our lives fully. It's the nagging voice that reminds us of past mistakes and the fear that we've let others down. But you need to remember, guilt is a feeling, not a fact. You've made mistakes, we all have. It's a part of being human. The important thing is to learn from them and move on. Instead of allowing the guilt to consume your thoughts, use it as a stepping stone towards self-improvement. It's not about forgetting the past, it's about accepting it, learning from it, and then letting it go. But how do you let go of guilt? Start by forgiving yourself. It sounds simple, but it's often the hardest step. You need to understand that you're not defined by your past mistakes or failures. They're a part of your journey, not your destination. Next, confront your guilt. Identify what's causing it and try to address it. If you've hurt someone, apologize. If you've made a mistake, correct it. Action is a powerful antidote to guilt. Part 14. Limiting beliefs. Don't let limiting beliefs cage your potential and hinder your progress. It is easy to believe that you are not good enough, clever enough, or skilled enough. But remember, these are just beliefs, not truths. They're mental barriers that you've built over time, brick by brick. The good news is that they can be deconstructed just as easily as they were built. We understand how hard it can be to challenge these beliefs. They've been a part of you for so long that they feel like reality. But let's remember, they're not. They're only as real as the power you give them. So, take back that power. Refuse to let your life be directed by self-imposed limits. How do you do this? Start by identifying and acknowledging your limiting beliefs. Are you holding yourself back because you think you're not as talented as your peers? Or are you convinced that you'll fail if you try something new? Recognize these thoughts for what they are, just beliefs, not facts. Next, challenge these beliefs. Ask yourself, is this really true? Do I have concrete evidence that supports this belief, or am I simply assuming the worst? Often, you'll find that these beliefs are based on fears and assumptions, not reality. Part 15. Lack of purpose. Struggling with a lack of purpose, you're likely to feel lost, aimless, and unfulfilled in life. This sense of aimlessness can feel like a heavy fog, obscuring the path ahead. But remember, it's okay to not have all the answers right now. Life is a journey of discovery, and discovering your purpose is a big part of it. Purpose isn't something that's handed to us, it's something we discover. It's found in the things that light up your spirit, that make you feel alive and meaningful. You might find it in a career, a hobby, or a cause that you're passionate about. It could be as grand as changing the world, or as simple as making a difference in one person's life. Your purpose is unique to you, and it's something that only you can define. It's important to take the time to explore what gives you a sense of purpose. Experiment with new things, get out of your comfort zone, and listen to your heart. It might be scary, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Once you find your purpose, you'll feel a sense of direction and fulfillment that's unmatched. You won't just be going through the motions of life, you'll be living with intention and passion. Part 16. Lack of prioritization. After identifying your purpose, it's essential to start prioritizing your life around it, otherwise, you'll find yourself being pulled in countless directions. Not having clear priorities can leave you feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and lost. There's a power in prioritizing, it's like having a compass, guiding you through the fog of life's demands and distractions. Understand this, prioritizing doesn't mean you must ignore everything else. It simply means knowing what's most important to you and ensuring that it gets the attention it deserves. It's about having a clear vision of your goals, and then arranging your actions to align with them. However, setting priorities isn't always easy. Life is full of distractions that can easily pull you off course. It's crucial, then, to regularly reassess your priorities. What served you 6 months ago may not serve you now. Be honest with yourself. It's okay to shift your focus as your life and circumstances change. Also, remember that it's okay to say no. It's a powerful tool in maintaining your priorities. You're not obligated to accept every opportunity or request that comes your way. Sometimes, the best thing you can do for yourself is to decline, respecting your own needs and focus. Prioritizing is an ongoing process, a skill that needs honing. Be patient with yourself. It's a journey, not a destination. Don't let the lack of prioritization control your life. Own your choices, take control, and lead your life in the direction you want it to go. You've got this. Part 17. Overthinking. While a well-made decision can propel you toward your goals, the mind trap of overthinking can leave you stuck in a cycle of inaction and anxiety. Overthinking turns possibilities into nightmares, decisions into battles, and leaves you agonizing over details that, in reality, don't carry as much weight as you think they do. Overthinking is a thief. It steals your time, energy, and mental clarity. But let's shift perspective. Instead of seeing overthinking as an overwhelming nemesis, view it as a signal. It's your mind's way of saying, "Hey, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed here." Recognize this and respond with empathy. Start by taking a step back. Breathe. Ground yourself in the present moment. Recognize that your thoughts aren't you, they're just thoughts. They're not always accurate or helpful. It's okay to let them go. Remember, you're in control. You can also challenge your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this true? Is it helpful? Is it necessary? If the answer is no, it's time to bid that thought farewell. You've got better things to focus on. Remember, you're not alone in this. Everyone overthinks at times. But don't let it hijack your life. You have the power to break free from the chains of overthinking. As you start to regain control, you'll find your decisions becoming more clear, your anxiety easing, and your life moving forward. But beware. Just as overthinking can paralyze, rushing can lead you astray. So, let's move on to the next challenge, impatience. Part 18. Impatience? Everyone's been there, you're waiting for something to happen, and it's just not happening fast enough. Your heart rate quickens, irritation builds, and your day seems to spiral out of control. That's impatience rearing its head, a tyrant that can rule your life if you let it. But you don't have to surrender. Impatience is often a response to feeling out of control or helpless. It's a natural human reaction, but it's not always constructive. It can lead to hasty decisions, unnecessary stress, and even strained relationships. The good news is, just like any habit, it can be broken. Start by acknowledging it. It's okay to admit that you're impatient. Self-awareness is the first step towards change. Next, try to decipher the root cause. Are you always rushing because you're overcommitted? Or are you anxious because you're unsure of what the future holds? Understanding why you're impatient can help you figure out how to tackle it. Consider adopting mindfulness practices like meditation or deep breathing. They can help you slow down, connect with the present moment, and reduce your impatience. Remember, it's a process. Don't beat yourself up if you don't see immediate changes. Patience, ironically, is key in overcoming impatience. Lastly, remind yourself that time is a gift, not a burden. It's a resource to be used wisely, not squandered in a rush. You don't need to have everything figured out this second. Life is a journey, not a race. Don't let impatience rob you of the joy of the ride. Let go of your need for immediate results and embrace the power of now. Part 19. People-pleasing. Shifting your focus to another life-controlling factor, you'll find that the desire for approval often fuels a harmful habit of people-pleasing. You may have found yourself saying yes when you really wanted to say no, or suppressing your own needs to cater to others. It's understandable, we all crave acceptance and love from those around us. But when it becomes a compulsive need, it's time to reassess. People-pleasing can seem like a noble trait, but it can morph into a self-defeating cycle. You may wear yourself thin trying to keep everyone happy, leaving little energy for your own joy. The sad truth is, you can't please everyone, and that's okay. The sooner you accept this, the faster you'll regain control over your life. Remember, you're deserving of the same kindness and understanding you extend to others. It's not selfish to prioritize your needs and feelings. It's essential. Start by setting boundaries, learning to say no, and understanding that your worth isn't defined by others' opinions of you. It's true, change can be daunting. You might fear rejection or upsetting others. But those who truly care about you will respect your boundaries and your right to self-care. You'll find that standing up for yourself can be empowering, and it'll significantly improve your self-esteem and overall well-being. Part 20. Lack of assertiveness. In spite of your best efforts to please others, you might find yourself struggling with a lack of assertiveness, which can control your life just as much, if not more. This isn't about being selfish or disrespectful, it's about learning to value your own thoughts, feelings, and needs. It's about standing up for yourself and not allowing others to dictate your decisions or validate your self-worth. Frustration, resentment, and unhappiness can result from a lack of assertiveness. It can make you feel invisible, overlooked, and unimportant. You may find yourself frequently saying yes when you really want to say no, or downplaying your achievements and opinions to avoid conflict or judgment. But remember, your voice matters and your preferences are valid. Start by acknowledging your lack of assertiveness as a barrier to your personal growth and happiness. Recognize your right to express yourself in a respectful and honest manner, practice saying no when necessary, and do not be scared to ask for what you want or need. Being more assertive is a journey that demands perseverance and regular work. But rest assured, each small step you take towards assertiveness is a step towards taking control of your life. So, don't let a lack of assertiveness define you. You're in charge of your life, and it's time for you to steer the wheel. Be bold, be brave, and always remember, you're enough. Part 21. Lack of mindfulness. Another thing that might be controlling your life, often without you even realizing it, is a lack of mindfulness. You rush through your days, caught up in the whirlwind of responsibilities, deadlines, and distractions. You're physically present but mentally elsewhere, missing out on the beauty of the present moment. I understand. Life is busy. It's hard to slow down. But consider this, mindfulness isn't about adding more to your to-do list, it's about experiencing what's already there. It's about tuning into the sensations, emotions and thoughts happening right now. Not yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's worries, but this very moment. You might think, I don't have time for that. But it's not about finding extra time, it's about changing how you use the time you already have. It's about savoring your morning coffee instead of gulping it down. It's about really listening when someone talks to you, instead of planning your response. It's about noticing the feel of the wind on your face, the color of the sky, the smile of a loved one. Mindfulness is a gift you give to yourself. It's a way to regain control of your life. It helps you respond, not react, to life's challenges. It reduces stress, boosts happiness, and increases self-awareness. Part 22. Regret. Just like a lack of mindfulness, regret is another silent puppeteer that could be quietly controlling your life. It's sneaky, isn't it? But you're not alone, we all have regrets. Things we wish we'd done differently, chances we didn't take, opportunities we let slip by. It's a universal human experience. But here's the thing, dwelling on those regrets doesn't change the past. It only steals joy from the present and hinders progress towards the future. It's like driving a car while constantly looking in the rearview mirror. Sooner or later, you're bound to crash. Instead, consider this, every experience, whether it's something you're proud of or a moment you wish you could erase, has shaped the person you're today. There's strength and wisdom in those so-called mistakes. They've taught you what you value, who you are, and who you want to be. And that's not something to regret, that's something to celebrate. So take a deep breath, forgive yourself, and let go of that regret. It's not serving you. It's only holding you back. Use it as a stepping stone rather than a roadblock, learn from it, develop from it, but do not allow it control you. Don't be shackled by your past, overworking, or negative thoughts. Fear of failure and procrastination can be tamed. You're not obligated to please everyone, and it's okay to assert yourself. Stay mindful and let go of regrets. You might think, it's easier said than done, but remember, it's your life and your rules. You can overcome anything. Keep happy, keep strong, and, most importantly, stay true to yourself. Begin today, and watch your life transform. Thanks for listening to or reading this from Audiobooks Office.